All right, be honest. How many times mid-workout have you been thinking, wait, am I even doing this right? Or you see someone across the gym lifting really heavy squats and think, should I be lifting as much as they are? Yep, we've all been there, myself included. And honestly, those questions actually never go away. They just change the longer you train. One season, you're trying to build confidence to even just try and get in the gym. And the next, you're actually trying to lift heavier and heavier without burning yourself into the ground. So today, we are flipping the script. I'm answering your questions, and please keep the questions coming. We're talking about everything from mind-muscle connection and what that actually means to progressive overload. I'm sure you've heard that before. How to tell if you're actually lifting heavy enough and what to do when you want to maintain without actually losing any progress. And yes, we are talking about imposter syndrome too, because it doesn't just hit at work. It shows up when you're in the gym trying something new or staring at a barbell being like, who let me in here? What is happening here? These are questions I get from you all the time. The ones you DM me, the ones you leave in my Q&A box, and the ones you whisper to your gym bestie or maybe just leave in your head. I'm answering them all right here. No fluff, no filter. So grab your headphones because we're getting into the real stuff. How to train smarter, build confidence, and actually feel strong in your body. Let's do this. Hey, Emily.
Hi, we're back again.
We are back again. I love when you're here. It always makes it so much more fun. Today's a Q&A episode, which is, I get a lot of questions all the time, but we always pick like the top 5 or 10. And I love doing it with you because it always feels like so much better when you're here,
I mean, why talking to a camera when you could talk to a person and have a conversation?
Exactly.
So here we go.
You know what's crazy, Emily? It's been 2 years already of this podcast.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's been
Yeah, it is
3
true.
pretty much since you've been working
I know.
with
I was
me,
trying to
but
think of, and then it's been like 1 year, almost 1 year for broad. So we've got
Yeah.
some time.
so much
Some anniversaries
time.
ticking
Yeah,
along.
and anniversaries, celebrations. So we're here with another Q&A to celebrate that anniversary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big things coming.
Do you remember when we rented out the Airbnb just to talk about this podcast?
100%.
That was like 2.5 years ago.
I think I still have that clip somewhere on my phone.
Yeah.
There's like a clip of us at this little table in this little dimly lit Airbnb, and we're just like talking about ideas and things. And you
Yeah.
had so many big ideas, and I feel like they've all come to life. So
Wow, all
that's
of them.
impressive.
I don't know about all.
Well, we can say all of them.
We're going to say all of them.
For the
But
sake of
yeah,
memory.
I love doing this. I love being in your ears. So if you're listening, thank you so much for being here. We could not do this without Emily, without our podcast agency that helps us do this, but also without every single one of you listening to the show. So please, I'm going to say this in every episode because really it matters a lot to us. When you subscribe, when you like, when you follow and give us a 5-star glowing review, it helps us keep this podcast going. And it helps, me still have a job, Emily still have a job, and you guys get to listen to this podcast every week. So please leave a review. It means the world to us.
It's like you're supporting small local freelancers.
Yeah, like it's super awesome chicks in Austin,
Newbie.
Texas.
Yeah.
So should we get into it?
Yeah.
Let's get right into the Q&A today.
Let's go for it. So first up we have, how do I actually connect my mind to the muscle I'm training? What does that mean, and why do I need to do it?
Okay, wait. Actually, can we take that part out and let's do like a recap of where we're at? I think that would be fun, like little intro before the Q&A.
Yeah. Wait.
Just like what's going on in your life.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
a more just like a what's up?
Yeah. Okay. I'm down for that.
Okay.
So
Yeah, help the podcast grow. We said 2 chicks like celebrate.
supporting local
Yeah.
freelancers, doing our thing.
So I think we should start with just like where are we at right now? Because I feel like every time we do this, it's like usually a month or 2 in between, and I feel like we're potentially in like a maybe different spot than we last talked. So this will be out in a few weeks. Where are you at, Emily? What's going on in your world? Give us some updates.
Well, interestingly enough, the last time we spoke,
Yeah.
I was massively in the running era. I was just like,
Yes.
run, sprint club, doing all the things. And the passion, the love is still there. However, as I was just telling you before we started recording, I'm personally going through some like health, hormonal wellness changes and shifts and struggles. So I've actually been dialing back on the running a bit, which feels It's like when you love to do something, you don't want to dial back on it, but it has been pushing me to like go to the gym a bit more and get back into proper strength training and being consistent with that area of training. So that's been a big shift for me.
Yeah.
And with that, like playing around with new equipment in the gym, which is funny because a lot of these questions have actually been coming up for me lately of like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been going over to the barbells, which before I would always stay with dumbbells and kettlebells and going at different times of the day. And there's different people there. And I'm like, wait, where are my usual, like,
Yeah.
comfortable, familiar faces? So that's been an interesting transition to make.
Awesome.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So dealing with some health stuff, but figuring it out.
Figuring it out.
And as you're figuring it out, you're still getting stronger, it sounds like.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's the priority has become like feeling good, you know? Like the strength workouts, any runs I do, mobility, whatever I decide to do, making sure that at the end of the day, like I'm feeling good and I'm getting stronger and I'm not just tanking my energy.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I was doing that a lot more.
What does
than I should have
feeling
been.
good mean to Emily?
It means even though I'm only 25, not waking up with like aches and pains in my body. You know, like I feel like I could feel like I did a hard workout, you know, and I might have some soreness, whatever it is. But there was a while there where I was waking up every single morning just so like tight and aches and pains. And like my body was just all discombobulated. I'm like, I'm too young to be feeling this way.
Yeah.
Like I should not be feeling this way. Having good energy, not crashing throughout the day,
Yeah.
being able to sleep through the night, feeling like my mood's regulated and I'm not all over the place like an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
And yeah, just having like good energy so I can show up for work, for friends, all the things. And there's a while there where I was really missing all of that.
Okay.
And just not feeling it. So
I didn't even know that. You kind of you hit that a little bit.
I know. I go like ghost mode when those things come up. And I
Yeah.
just sort of like get silent, pull back.
Have you always been like that?
Ghost mode?
Or just like trying to figure it out yourself and not
Yeah.
ask for support?
Yeah, I think given my upbringing, I didn't feel like there was like room to ask for help or support because my parents were going through like crazy big things. And so I was like, well, I'll figure it out on my own.
Yeah. It's crazy how much that comes up, right? Like in our adulthood. And even as, you know, I'm a lot older than you, but I still feel like I am this child again, where I would close the door and scream and throw tantrums. And like, I'll do that now just when Teddy leaves the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's so much of what you have got, like your environment and how you grow up is what makes you who you are today. And at the same time, knowing that like there are people out there that want to help and support, like me included. And you've said that to me many times too, like just because, you know, we've both been through loss in our lives, like that we're kind of there for each other, but it's almost like easier to like figure it out by ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like it's easier. And then
yeah,
you
that's why I
start
put it in
to,
quotes.
yeah, then you start to get support or people start to come like knocking on the door, like what's going on? And you realize like, oh, it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah.
It can be differently. So
Yeah. I get a lot of prospective clients that come in and say that too. They'll be like, you know, something will happen where they're like, okay, I know that now is different. I need to ask for that support. And it seems like you're there now where you're like, okay, well, I can't feel like this anymore. I need to make that shift. And so it seems like you've been like reaching out for support and scaling in a way that makes the most sense for you and your body.
Yeah. Yeah. And even like for once to, like we were talking about going to get blood work or like asking for support in those ways of working with a professional versus just trying to like Google things and figure out things on my own. Like there's seasons for both, I think.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like I've had those seasons with exercise and working out too. Like I remember the first time I decided to work with a coach because I was just like, okay, I've done enough of this like DIY on my own Googling shit. Like I actually want support in this realm. And so now it gets to be a season of doing that with my health, which we're doing. So,
Amazing.
yeah.
And I am very vocal about this too. Like I hire coaches of all different kinds, business, financial, marketing, every kind of like piece of my life that I don't feel like an expert in, which is most things, honestly. Getting that help and support that you need, I think just gets you to that, you know, feeling better, but also gets you to the next level. And then there's just another more opportunity for growth. So
1000%.
What about personal life, other than health stuff?
Personal life?
Give us the dating I'm like, do you want to talk about this on the podcast?
There's been nothing. No, there's been a few prospects. I've been approached multiple times.
Ooh.
I'm very impressed by some of these men lately.
Okay.
I feel like this
We don't
never
hear that a
happened
lot.
to me. Yeah, no. Like I haven't been, and not just like approached, but like approached in a very respectful, courteous, yet like kind, interested way.
Okay.
So that's been fun, but
Nice.
no like forward movement momentum. But what has been nice is that I do feel like it's been a season where I needed to pour a bit more focus and energy into myself and my health.
Yeah.
And when there's a man in when there's like an interest, a little like crush going
Yeah.
on, it consumes me. So it's
Heard.
been nice to not have that like constant loop in my mind of like, what's so-and-so doing?
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to reach out. But yeah, I mean, prayers that one of these men that have approached me follows up again. There was one at Anna this morning.
Oh, shoot.
But we didn't exchange contact info.
Can we give some snaps for some good, respectful men? Like, I don't hear that a lot. I don't know if you saw my Instagram story today, but wow.
Yeah.
I have not been getting very many respectful men except for my amazing, incredible, supportive, loving husband, Teddy.
We love Teddy. Teddy's in
We love
10 out of
Teddy.
10.
So in my world, I just did a really awesome competition this last weekend. So this is coming out in a couple weeks, but I just did the Apex competition. It's new. So it was like the first annual. It's 7 events. And I have a couple emails going out about this if you have more interest in it. But it's a 40-yard dash, longest broad jump, vertical jump, med ball toss, and then there's 2 strength events, which are trap bar deadlifts, as many as you can in a minute at 225, bench press, as many as you can, 115, and then you finish the day with a mile run. And it was exhilarating. Like, I cannot wait to do it again.
Oh, yay.
It was so much fun. It's so funny because the first like 4 events almost feel like playtime. You're like, I mean, the 40-yard dash is hard and like I really push myself in it, but like the jumps are just like, you do what you can, you're like playful. And then as soon as you get to the strength ones, you're like in dark mode. And then you end with a mile, which I'm not a runner. And I was like, oh God, like this is miserable. But overall, I was like, oh, it was just fun. I was kind of in my head a little bit in the beginning, and I was just, I didn't like push myself as hard as I would have. So I was like, I left the event thinking like, oh, maybe like top 10, whatever, not a big deal. And then I saw that I got 4th place, and I was like, okay,
she did it.
I can come back. And like, so now I'm like, they're going to be another one in April. So I'm super excited to train for that again.
That's so fun. Yeah, I had forgotten you were doing it. And then I saw my friend Miranda was there doing it, and she posted it. And then I saw you were there. I was like, oh, wow, it's here.
Yeah.
Because I remember, I think like you'd been training and then you kind of weren't training for it. And then
I wasn't. I didn't train that much for it, honestly, because like I hadn't done something like that in so long. And so I just kind of like did some stuff here and there. But now that I have one under my belt, I'm like, oh, now there needs to be like a different protocol for that. And so it just made me feel like I'm an athlete again. And it was just so fun.
I mean, you looked, if y'all haven't seen the photo, she looked shredded. She looked jacked.
I know, but like
you look superhuman.
Some of the pictures are like
everyone was
so
making
scary.
those faces though. I saw there was a few others and their faces are all like contorted.
Yeah.
Y'all were working hard.
We were, and you know what? Like, I know that you love the run community, and like we go to the same gym, and like the community is just something that I feel like I miss so much when it comes to team sports. I was still in track, but like, or like being in the gym more around people, and like, working for yourself can feel so isolating. And it was just like such a beautiful, supportive, inspiring community of like everyone just like cheering each other on just for doing the thing. Yeah. And so if you're hearing this and you're like, that sounds awesome, but like, wow, not for me. There are so many other things out there like that, find the community that can cheer you on in anything you do. I'm like, if you're into chess or knitting or whatever, like there are people that want to support you in what you're doing. And that was just a prime example of like, wow, the women were just insane athletes, but also just like so welcoming and so supportive.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so happy you did it.
So I'm really glad I did it. That's kind of where my head's at right now. And just, I'm feeling good after that event, and just a lot of exciting stuff with business, but Yeah, just that's where a recap on where I am right now.
I love it. Big things.
Yeah. So let's dive into the Q&A now. Feels like a good time to just get in. We chose 5 of your top questions, and we'll just kind of riff off of them together. How's
Yeah.
that sound?
We'll love it. Let's go.
Okay.
So first up, we have, how do I actually connect my mind to the muscle I'm training? And with that, what does that mean and why do I need to do it?
Okay, so she's talking about mind-muscle connection. Now, this can be as simple as you just putting your mind to where the muscle is. And if you're like, what does that actually mean? Well, first we need to know what muscles are actually working. So for example, a very basic example could be a bicep curl. So we all know that our biceps are in the front of our arms, like I'm pointing to it right now if you're watching the video. And so if I'm doing a bicep curl, I can actively actually touch my bicep with my left hand. I can touch my right bicep with my left hand and actively feel it as I'm curling my arm up. That's putting your mind to that muscle connection. Studies have shown that you actually get more out of the movement by knowing what the exercise is actually working. So that's like an easy example for like an isolation exercise. Now, for a squat, a deadlift, a bench press, we're actually working a lot of different muscle groups at once, but it's really helpful to know what you're actually working. So for example, like an RDL, okay, where are you feeling it in your body? Typically should be hamstrings, glutes, your lats, maybe your calves, posterior chain exercise. So if we can think about those muscles as we're working, again, we get more of that connection.
I saw something the other day on Instagram and it said any workout can be back day if you don't know how to properly engage the muscles or you don't know what you're working or something.
Yes.
But it was alluding to that idea. I think it was referring to like lower body workouts.
Yeah.
Like how often, like instead of actually engaging and knowing what muscle we're supposed to be working, we just like, I don't know, we're just probably like overcompensating with the back or like other muscles.
Yes.
And so I think really highlighting the mind muscle connection can be huge for solving that issue of using the wrong muscle groups or potential like injury or soreness that's not supposed to be there too.
Yeah, really great point. Actually, that's a really great quote too, because it really can feel like a lower back exercise if you don't know what you're doing in the exercise, but what you don't know what you're working.
Yeah.
You sometimes like people can just go through the movements and just like say that they've done 10 squats, but they don't even know what they're supposed to be feeling, right? And so there's that connection, so good with like mitigating injuries. There is the, what did you say after that? Well, strength and hypertrophy, like if you're trying to actually build muscle, and then getting that extra strength into the actual exercises too. So for example, for a squat, like yes, you're feeling quads, but also maybe glutes, maybe a little bit of hamstrings, you know, maybe a little bit of back too, because we're working our erectors. But if we can like really put some focus into where you want to work, that will actually make your workouts so much better. Yeah.
So that answered all that one. So next up, how do I build confidence as a beginner at the gym?
This is such a great question because we can literally use this as at the gym, at the store, at work, at anything, and it's all the exact same, right? Like we put in the reps, we show up, right? I think it's the original question was if I'm brand new or if I haven't been there yet.
As a beginner at the gym.
As a beginner. So first and foremost, we're showing up, right? And I think we're doing what you and I both need to do more of, and that's asking for help.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You can go into a gym, and if there's someone at the front desk, you can ask them to show you around, show you where things are. If there's any part of them that's like they don't have time or they're making you feel like you're less than, immediately leave. There are many other gyms like that is not the gym should be a welcoming and judge-free place, especially from the point of entry, knowing that people are very new. So immediately ask for just what does the gym look like? What's the lay of the land? When you have like a really good understanding of what things look like and where things are, that sets you up for like planning for the next time you come in. So just asking like where things are located, what's happening in each station. You can also ask them like what times of day are busy. What areas are the gym are like, when do you see most people at? Like, yeah, you're going to say something with that.
Well, that's exactly what I've done. Like
Yeah.
over time with On at the gym that we both go to, I'd start by going to the one workout classroom.
Yeah.
And then I would just like do laps or like walk around and like get a scope of like the area and the place and what equipment was where. And then I would preview my workout before I went in so that I like, kind of like knew where I was going.
Yeah.
And I found that just worked really well for me as someone who can get anxious in social settings or like in new environments and stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's just like the more you familiarize yourself and get comfortable in it, the confidence like comes by default and you feel like you're meant to be there because you are,
Yeah.
meant to be there,
Yeah.
like you've shown up, you're consistent, you're like doing it for you. So that was huge for me in the beginning too.
The prepping beforehand is so good too. I was definitely going to say go in with a plan of action, whether that is a workout, whether you're following a program, whether you're working with a coach, like having some sort of plan. So now we've already seen where things are, and then we're going to see where things are in your actual program. So typically you'll have a warm-up area in some place of the gym. That's where you'll warm up. But then you can also kind of like look into the future of your workout and be like, okay, here's where I'm going next. What does it look like over there? Who's in the squat rack? Who's near the dumbbells? Like, do I have space to bring my stuff and go over there? The answer is always yes, because everyone deserves to take up space in the gym, of course. However, if it makes you feel a little bit more comfortable when there isn't someone there at that moment in time, you can kind of plan around that too. But the more prepped and planned you are beforehand, the more comfortable you'll feel there. I'll also say a great workout outfit, something that makes you feel really comfortable in, is key.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely overlooked. And then some sort of gym playlist. Make sure you've got headphones or some music that makes you feel really good to get in there as well.
Yeah. I will say also, I was always big for like music headphones because like I need to block out everything that's happening.
Yeah.
Lately though, I've been going with no music, no headphones, and I've actually found I'm a lot calmer. And my anxieties like can be like a bit lower if it's really busy or anything, because there's something about being able to actually hear who's around me, what's going on, like the music and everything. It helps me stay like a bit more present. So maybe even like play around with that one and see like, are the headphones and music good, or are they like amping up your system a lot and you need to just kind of like breathe and hear what's going on around you? That was like an interesting shift for me too.
I think I mentioned the last time we talked that I don't listen to music at all anymore by
you mentioned
myself. I'm like reading a book or I'll just have it silent.
Yeah.
And it's helped me a lot too. Like I love loud music when other people are around, or if it's like a class or something and like it pumps me up. But it makes me feel a lot more in the zone when I actually don't have anything going on. However, I do think for me, I'm like, I've just been in this for so long that it might feel okay to like go in a space like that. And so just whatever makes you feel most comfortable, first and foremost. And I just like anything else, like you've got to keep showing up even when it feels really uncomfortable and scary, because everyone in that gym, whether you believe it or not, started where you were. And there will be so many new people come January. So if you can start in November, that gives you basically like the upper hand. Like you're like, I've already been here for a few weeks at this point while all these new people are starting in. And then you can be like, make them feel comfortable going into the gym, right? We're all just trying to make this like a very comfortable, judgment-free and like good space where we're just trying to make ourselves better. Yeah.
100%. So with that being said, how do I actually know that I'm lifting enough?
How do you know, Emily? I'm going to put you on the spot.
I know because when it comes to RPE, say like the RPE is 8
Yeah.
and I'm like lifting and I get to like my final rep,
Yeah.
I should maybe have enough for like 2 more in the tank.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
What's RPE?
Rate of perceived effort.
Yeah. Okay.
And so like RPE, wait, no. Am I saying that right? RPE 8? Or is it 80%?
Two different things, but
Okay.
it could be similar. Like 80% could be like the percentage of 1 rep max. RPE is rate of perceived effort or exertion.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I usually just follow whatever program I'm doing. If it's in broads, it tells you very easily. But I know I'm lifting heavy enough when I can like, when I'm finishing that final rep, I feel like worked. And I feel like I've just been like doing this long enough now that I can tell when I'm just kind of like cruising, and I'm just like pumping them out.
Yeah.
Or like when those last couple reps are feeling like kind of sticky.
Yeah.
And if it is like lower, I feel like I also try to keep track of my form.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm noticing like if my form's starting to give a little bit, then I'm like, okay, maybe this is a little bit heavy for me, or maybe I just need to cut back on how many I'm trying to do. And then I also track every week.
Yeah.
So I like make sure that I feel like if I'm lifting heavy enough, I actually progress in weight.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm not lifting heavy enough, I feel like I'm just plateaued.
Yeah.
And I keep doing like the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
So those are all my variables that I take into account.
I think if you don't know if you're lifting heavy enough, that to me means you immediately are not lifting heavy enough.
There we go.
Typically, like you've mentioned several things. Like it's very subjective. So RPE is rate of perceived exertion. It's out of 10. Anything or effort is the same. It's out of 10. Anything basically 5 and under is more of like a deload. It's more of like you can kind of do this for many reps. Typically we'll start the like new week of a program on a 6 or 7 for you to like get used to the exercises, make sure they feel comfortable for you. And then each week you'll progress with your RPE scale. So maybe we'll go to 7, 8, maybe we'll go to 8, 9, maybe the last week will be a 9 again, or a 10 if we're really trying to push ourselves. Now, like you've mentioned, an RPE 8, for example, you maybe have like 2 more in the tank. What does in the tank really mean, and how can you actually figure that out? Well, you can't actually figure it out if you've never felt that 10 before. So if you're maybe still learning or still kind of figuring out what that looks like for you, it's whatever you can push yourself to really great form and to where you feel like you're exerting yourself. And we go back to that mind-muscle connection. Are you still feeling the muscles that you're supposed to be working in that exercise? My first thought is like a row. It's I don't want to say easy because I don't want to make this feel like it's
like a simple.
Yeah, I would say like it's a movement that you can feel right away,
Yeah.
right? Like a row or an RDL, like you can feel that. So I could feel my lats working. As soon as the form fails or as soon as I can't get that last rep, I know that I'm pretty high on that RPE scale. However, you can actually utilize your sets. Like if I have 3 working sets and let's just say I'm using a 40-pound dumbbell for a row and I'm getting all of my reps in on that first set, I can actually move up the second set and still be at an RPE 8. But that'll give you a good example of like kind of shifting the way you think about lifting heavy enough. Instead of using the same weight all 3 sets, you can actually push yourself a little bit further into that what would be an RPE 8 into set 2 or 3. A lot of people think like, oh, well, I've done this week, so next week I'll just lift heavier. But actually, you can do it within your working sets all the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I just did that this morning. It's how I continuously check, like, just how heavy can I go?
Yeah.
And I will say, at least for me, I'll have the thought come up of like, I could have gone heavier.
Yeah.
You know, like it just comes up by default. And maybe
Yeah.
that's something with time too. So I've tried to take note of whenever I feel that thought come in, I'm like, okay, well, let's try.
Yeah.
And like this morning, I was about to finish my 3rd set at the same weight. And it's like, actually, I think I could go a little bit heavier. And it was a lot heavier, but I did it. And I
Yeah.
did like the same amount of reps at that heavier weight. So now I know next week when I start again, I can automatically kind of like go with this like heavier weight and just
Yeah.
keep moving up from there. So it's like it's all experimentation.
Yeah.
You know, you get to like play with this and adjust that, and then you see how it all goes. It's really, I find it fun.
Yeah.
Like, I love playing around with different weights and being like, okay, what's the difference between adding 10 pounds or what if okay, that's too heavy. I'm going to just add 5 pounds to this,
Yeah.
you know, to the barbell, whatever it
Yeah.
is. And it makes such a difference sometimes, just
Yeah.
like the little weights or the big weights. So it's really fun if
Yeah.
you kind of view it as that like experimental way.
And then the more data you take, the more like prepared you'll be the next time too.
Yes.
And I love the way you said you ended at like your heavier weight and the next week you'll actually start at that heavier weight. And so you'll constantly see your progress over time. Maybe next week you might actually drop down a little because you felt really strong this week
Yeah.
and next week might feel a little bit different. Your cycle could change. Like that happens all the time because progress isn't super linear, right? We're not just going up every single week. However, we can use the data from the weeks prior to actually make sure that you are pushing yourself into that point. A lot of people just get really caught up in the like doing the same things or just using the same weights over and over again. And it's like, how do you know that you're actually progressing without that intentionality behind choosing the heavier weights, actually challenging yourself, showing your lifting faces, which we talked about earlier. Like you, I don't know, my lifting faces are very ugly.
I get all scrunchy.
That's kind of what
Yeah.
it is, right? Like, how do you know? Take a video of yourself and you watch that video back and ask yourself, was that heavy enough? Like, be honest with yourself, you know? People
Yeah.
just like, well, like, oh no, this is heavy. And I'm like, watch that. How many more reps could you do done? Like 20?
Well, my friend called me out a couple weeks ago. I sent her a video, and I thought I was doing pretty heavy, like goblet squats, heel elevated goblet squats. Sent it to her for like just to check my form. She's like, "Form looks great, but you're cruising. You could have gone way heavier." And I watched it back and was like, "Oh yeah, I look like I'm just like
Yeah.
chilling. You know, like I have no actual exertion going on."
Yeah.
So that's really cool if you start to like notice that about yourself, and it'll tell you. Also, your breathing.
Yes.
Like I
Yeah.
immediately know if I can go a little bit heavier also by my breathing too, and
Yeah.
how that feels in my body. So
Yeah. And then just like take inventory. Again, the more data you have, like the day after too, like, was that heavy enough where you're feeling the same muscle groups? Or did you kind of, hurt a little bit of your form and you're feeling like your lower back or you're overcompensating in some areas too? So it's like, we're just taking inventory and getting data.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's all you can do. So how do I try new things without feeling like a total newbie?
Well, how do you try new things without feeling like
Total
a newbie? Isn't that the point of trying new things, is that you are new to it? It's hard, I will say, just like we're in a society where and as you age, you just get comfortable with your routine. You get comfortable with doing what you're good at. And it's too easy to not change things around. And so when you try something new, you're going to feel scared and like stupid. Like, I mean, I've definitely felt this before, but like, why is that? Like if we go back to, if we're talking about like our childhood, like all kids try stuff all the time and fall down and like they get back up and try again. And it's like, why can't we have that same thought pattern in what we do now in our adulthood, So you're going to feel like a newbie because it's new, like, and that's okay. I think that for a lot of people, they don't think that that's okay. I don't think they think it's like okay to feel new at something, but you can't actually get better unless you start.
Yeah.
Well,
I had a similar realization a couple months ago. I mean, it was honestly a big one with the track club that I was going to, because I was like, I'm going to feel like such a newbie. I had all these worries and thoughts.
Yeah.
And then one day it just hit me, I was like, exactly what you said. I was like, this is something I'll always have in life. Like I want to try new things and I want to feel like I'm here, and then I learn and I grow and I experience, and then I feel proficient in it someday. Like that's such an cool experience. And so it's like, why rob yourself of that? And I think the moment you accept that in order to try anything new or experience anything new, you may have to feel like a newbie.
Yeah.
It takes away, like when you truly accept that, it takes away a lot of the worry, at least on my end it has. And then it kind of becomes exhilarating.
Yeah.
Like now when I find something new I want to try, I just know I'm going to have that phase where I feel like a total newbie. I don't know what I'm doing, but I also really enjoy that learning process.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, oh, it's exciting to try something new because I get to learn about it now, and then I get to apply it, and then I get the like dopamine hits of like realizing that I'm doing it and learning it over time. So that's been a cool shift too.
I think we all just need to do more things more often too. We're in our bubbles, we're in our routines, and we're just doing the same things that we're good at. And like shit, I'm a prime example of like, God, I could probably try new things, but like I did Apex because I'm like, I'm good at those things. You know what I mean?
But it's still new in a sense,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's just like you're scared of feeling, for me, maybe this is just me portraying how I feel, but I feel like silly if I like go to a dance class. I saw Onnit's doing like a 2-step thing, and I'm like, I've never done that before.
They are?
Yeah. And
we should both go.
And I was like, gosh, I'm going to feel stupid because I don't know how to do this. But
Yeah.
it's like, why is that silly when it's like, I'm not a professional 2-stepper.
Yeah.
Like, why should I expect to be? I think we have these like crazy expectations of like what it should be or what it should look like. But it's like, if we just go and like give ourselves a chance, then who knows? Like maybe it'll be something that we just enjoy or do for a hobby.
1,000%. You don't have to be like the best at it either, you know?
That's the
You just
other,
enjoy it.
gosh, that's the other main thing is I feel like everyone starts a hobby to be like the best at it, but
Yeah.
like bring back 8th place of things, you know, like who cares if you're not that great at
Yeah.
something too? Yeah.
I need to learn more about this two-stepping thing though.
Yeah.
Because I need to do that. That's something I've been wanting. Okay, so final one here. Somebody wrote in, I struggle so hard with imposter syndrome at work and fitness and life. Am I the only one? What do I do to get over this?
Are they the only one?
I don't know. Have you ever felt imposter syndrome?
I
Feel it every week?
I feel imposter syndrome all the time, but I feel it in a way that's like not bad. Because it's just like the last conversation we had. It's new, but it's exciting. And it's like something that I can then continuously get better at. But I really like, I believe in myself now. I think that comes with age and just experience of like, why don't I belong at the table? Like, why shouldn't I be sitting here in this chair? Why shouldn't I be invited to more things? Like, I belong there. I don't personally feel it that much anymore just because like I know who I am. However, I felt it a lot of times in the past where it's like not allowed me to do the things that I wanted to do. But just in our last, question, it's like we have to start somewhere. We have to put ourselves out there, and like everyone's really at all there. We're all at the same playing field. It's just about how you show up for yourself and for what you're actually trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it's also just like repetition at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like that self-belief part that you were talking about is huge because it's like the more things you do and the more times you show yourself like, oh, I'm starting something new. I figured it out and now I'm here. You just do that over and over again as with so many things in life. And the repetition of that helps build your self-belief. And then like that's what helps, at least in my case, when it comes to the imposter syndrome, because I've also just gotten way more open about like saying if I don't understand something or I don't know how to do it, whatever it is, like I'll figure it out to the best of my capability.
Yeah.
But if I don't know something, that's like when you bring in a coach or you bring in somebody who does know how to help you with it or you ask for help or support. But yeah, I just feel like everyone experiences imposter syndrome so often in so many ways. And it is, I think, ultimately about building the self-belief to just know that no matter what, you'll figure it out. Or there's somebody out there to help you with it.
What do you feel like the definition of imposter syndrome is?
Imposter syndrome. It's kind of fun. Like when you break it down, it's like a syndrome. Like what is this, a medical diagnosis?
Yeah, exactly. Like you're an imposter of what? Like,
yeah. Fair. Yeah.
I think it's
like, who are you impostering?
Really, I mean, like, I think of it like in my profession, I'm like, okay, I've been a trainer for 13 years, but like even some of the trainers I was with this weekend, I was like, gosh, they've got some certifications, they've had all these other years behind me, and they've worked with a lot more people, but I'm still like, that doesn't make them better or worse than me. That just means that they're a different type of coach, a different type of trainer. That doesn't mean that like I am not like I shouldn't that I'm not a trainer anymore. Like I'm an imposter because they are also, trainers and coaches. It's just that you kind of just have to build that. It comes back to like the self-esteem and believing in yourself really at the end of the day.
Yeah, because otherwise it's like you're comparing or fearing being compared to like who, what, like it's going to be different for each of us.
Yeah.
We probably each have a specific person that we're consciously or subconsciously comparing ourselves to when it comes to the imposter syndrome. And so it's really so much more of like an internal thing than anything to do with like the external world around you, because that is a good point there with like the trainers, It's like, who are you worried that you won't compare to at the end of the day?
Yeah.
So
I even think back about one of the questions about like, showing up in the gym of like, and being nervous to do that. It's like, everyone goes in the gym for themselves and for the reason to better themselves. So if we're feeling that even imposter syndrome of like being a gym goer, that was always going to hold you back. It's always going to hold you back from like what you're trying to actually accomplish in life. And so God, put yourself out there more. Get yourself in sticky situations that like make you uncomfortable. I think like the moral of this podcast today is like go get yourself uncomfortable and put on your cowboy boots and go two-step it.
Yeehaw. Yo, I'm going to be a cowgirl for Halloween.
Oh, this is like so perfect then.
Yeah, so I'll get uncomfortable, go two-stepping, and
Do you have cowboy
be all
boots?
heat. No, but my friend's party I'm going to, they have a no shoes in the house policy.
Oh, perfect. So you don't even need to wear
So
them.
I'm good. I'm cruising.
Yeah, I love it. Cool. Okay, those were our questions for the day.
Yeah, that's all of it.
All right, so before we wrap up, let's do a quick recap of what we talked about today. We covered how to build mind-muscle connection, how it actually... So we covered how to build mind-muscle connection so that your lifts actually hit the right muscles. We talked about how confidence in the gym isn't something that magically shows up. It's something you build through action, one awkward movement or rep at a time. We also broke down how to know that you're lifting heavy enough, what RPE and a little bit of percentage-based training is, how to keep progressing without burning out, and how to give yourself permission to actually have maintenance seasons where consistency matters more. We didn't really talk about recovery.
All right.
We talked about imposter syndrome, that voice that tries to keep you small, and how showing up anyway is what builds true confidence. And finally, we talked about trying new things, being really uncomfortable, and remembering that being a beginner is not a setback. It's actually a sign that you're growing, because we can't actually grow if we don't actually do the thing. If there's one takeaway I want you to hold on to, it's this: you do not have to do everything perfectly. You just have to keep showing up. And that is how strength is built in your muscles and in your mind. Thank you so much for sending in these questions. It means the world to me. I also love to do episodes like this with Emily. It just reminds me of how many people are walking through their fitness journeys in different phases. And everyone has struggles. It just depends on what stage of your fitness journey you're at. So if you found something helpful today, please share this episode with a friend who's on their own fitness journey. And if you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed, rate, and review this podcast on every single platform you can, because it really helps us grow. And obviously, more women need it, and we need to take up more space. So go crush your workout today. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Go get uncomfortable. Thanks for being here, Emily.
That's right. Thanks for having me.